One more time for the bass.
When you think of Japanese RPGs, or jerpicas as I like to call them, there's one name that stands head and shoulders above the rest: Square Enix. What they're not so well known for though are their beat-em-ups. They've dipped their Japanese toe into the genre in the past with titles like the one-hit kill classic Bushido Blade, the super smooth Tabal series, and the early PS2 title The Bouncer. Good looking, but a stinker. Not only that, but they drip-fed a bit of fan service into the RPG faithful in Urgeist, a PS1 fighter featuring a couple of Final Fantasy mods. So when Squeenix announced a new PSP fighter featuring nothing but Final Fantasy characters, you have to get off your chocobo and take notice. Dissidia Final Fantasy is a fanboy's dream, a fevered dream involving spiky hair, mad shorts and more buckles on clothes than any right mind could think was sensible, but a dream nonetheless. You have the choice of over 20 characters consisting of the main hero and villain from Final Fantasy 1 through 10, with a couple of unlockable hidden ones thrown in for good measure, all of whom have been teleported from their own worlds to help in the final battle against good and evil. I bet you thought it was about some angst-ridden nutter trying to blow up the world again, didn't you? There's no turn-based combat here despite the character's history. Somehow, during teleportation they've unlocked the ability to get stuck in without taking turns. About time. Gameplay-wise, it's best described as a cross between Urgeist and Power Stone, with a pinch of Super Nintendo Dragon Ball Z games thrown in for good measure. Manic, basically. You've got your Mortal Kombat direction pressing like special moves here, but where Dissidia Final Fantasy really comes into its own is in its rather unique fighting style, which they like to call Courage. Basically, Courage is like a stamina bar that you build up from attacking the enemy. The more you have, the more powerful your attacks, so you can either save it or unleash it in one almighty one-hit blow. Though if you miss, you'll have to start again from scratch. It's something really unique and refreshing to the fighting genre, and works amazingly well. You may have run out and imported this from Japan already, such as your love for all things Final Fantasy. So you may like to know this international edition of the game has a few extras up its sleeve that may entice you for a new copy. New additions include more balanced characters to make the game fairer, so no more poning with Sephiroth constantly like in the original. Tutorial modes, so you know what the hell you're doing in the first place. And an arcade mode where you can truly pit any hero or villain from the Final Fantasy universe against each other. Squall vs Cloud, whose angst is bigger? The poor old PSP is a bit light on the ground for decent beat-em-ups. Take an accepted match. So the addition of the Final Fantasy universe makes this title a must-have for Sony's Wii handheld. So whether you're a fan of the series, or just fancy knocking a few teeth out whilst you're on the bus, Dissidia Final Fantasy is a game well worth spending a few gil on. So get that order in at Gameplay today.